Hello, welcome to Medicine for the Soul Yoga. My name is Kat, and today we have part 15 of our Journey to Crow series. Today we are going to be continuing with what we practiced last time, which is exploring side crow. It's a fun little variation of crow, so I hope you enjoy it. We'll be using a wall today, so if you can find a little space of wall that you can have your mat against, that would be great. And I hope you enjoy the practice. So we're going to be building on what we practiced last time with side crow. We're going to be using a wall today. So if you can, try to place your mat running alongside a wall. It doesn't have to be the long edge. It could be the short edge as well, just so that you have access to a tiny little bit of wall. It doesn't have to be big at all. So get yourself set up there if you can. Or if you'd prefer to move your mat when we are using the wall, you can just move it at the time and I'll obviously let you know. So we're going to start in tabletop. We'll just do a nice warm up to start with. So we're just going to start to shift the body side to side. Really engaging the fingertips. Feel the white tips of the fingers as the weight travels across the hand. So this connection to the ground with the fingertips is what's going to really help us balance. And we're going to make circles now. So we're getting used to bringing weight into the fingertips, seeing the whites of the fingertips as we change our weight around the hand. And we'll change direction. Big deep breath through the nose here, letting the breath travel right down into the tummy. And then we'll pause in the center. So we're going to tuck the toes and we're going to hover the knees off the mat. So we're bringing quite a lot more weight into the wrists now. So we really want to be having the fingertips pushing down. The knuckles of the fingers are almost lifting up. So we're really gripping. And we're going to shift our weight very gently forward and back and side to side. So very little movements. If you feel any pain, do stop. And I just want you to see what it feels like to come to one side and use your fingers to bring you back to center. Maybe the other side, then bring your fingers back to center. Coming a bit forward, push down on the fingertips to bring you back. So we're focusing on bringing ourselves back to the midline. It's pretty hard as well on the core. And then we'll rest the knees down, really good. As we exhale, we'll bring the feet onto the mat, round into the back. As we inhale, arch the back, roll the shoulders, lift the chin. Exhale, rounding, rolling the pelvis, drawing the shoulders away. Keeping in this rounded back position, we're going to just let the forehead gently roll side to side. Big deep breaths through the nose. And then we're gently going to rock forward and back. Keeping the back nice and rounded. Big deep breath through the nose. Good, and then we'll pause up in the center with a flat back. We'll lift the chin so we've got the nice long neck. And we're going to walk the hands forward, keep the hips over the knees, melt the chest down, opening the shoulders. Take a big inhale here, right down into the belly. And a big exhale through the mouth. Feel the chest melting. One more big inhale through the nose. Into the belly. Exhale fully through the mouth. Good. We're going to lift the chin up slightly. And we're going to keep the chest low to the ground. Keep the forearms on the mat if you can. And roll ourselves. Dip the hips. Lift up the chest, roll the shoulders back and down, slightly squeezing the glutes here, keeping the chest lifting. Big deep breaths through the nose. Keeping the feet firmly on the ground. So with everything engaged here, the glutes, the feet, the legs, we're going to try and lift the arms off the ground. So you might have the chest come down a little bit, that's fine. Try to make the movement down as small as possible. So try to keep the lift if you can. Engage the core and lift up the elbows. Squeezing the core. As we exhale, we're going to bring the hands in front of the face. And as we inhale, we're going to swim the hands around. Big inhale, open the chest. So we're really beginning to activate the core here. The whole length of the core, wrapping all the way around the sides, which is what we need for our side crow. Exhale, hands forward. Inhale, swim the hands back. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, hands forward, squeeze the belly into the spine. One more time, inhale, coming back. We'll hold here and let the feet come off the mat, maybe even the thighs as well. A few big deep breaths here through the nose. Good, and then we'll release everything down and just rest one side of the face on the mat. Feel the shoulders soften and just take a few really relaxing breaths here. Big deep breaths through the nose. Really good. We're going to look forward. We're going to do the same again. This time we're going to bend the feet up and point the toes. We're going to want to lengthen the knees away. So lift the knee and lengthen the thighs to begin with. You might want to keep the hands just drawing back. Maybe you can find the toes with the hands holding to the outside edges of the feet. So either keeping the hands drawing back, or we can find that bind. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Again, we're going to find lift using the core. So big inhale, lifting the chest. If you're holding the feet, really pushing the feet into the hands. Big deep breath through the nose. Really strong breaths here. Good. One more big inhale. Keep the chest lifting. And exhale, release all the way down. Really good. Releasing the right hand side of the face on the mat. And let the feet melt back down to the ground. Take a few breaths here in stillness. In and out through the nose. Good, and then we'll draw the hands underneath the shoulders, bring the chin back to the center. As we inhale, we're going to roll ourselves into a nice little cobra. Squeeze the glutes, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Hug the elbows in. Notice how that opens the chest. Fingers are spread on the mat. Draw the chin down to the chest. Roll out the neck. Feel that stretch traveling across the shoulders. Big deep breath through the nose. And then we're going to push back, knees apart, toes together. Rest for a moment in our wide leg child's pose. Maybe wiggling the hips side to side. Feel that lengthening the lower back. Big deep breath through the nose. And then we'll gently lift the forehead using the core. We're going to slide the hands back to the body and then sitting on the shins, big roll of the shoulders here. And we'll join the palms together, release out the wrists. Make waves with the wrists. Big deep breath through the nose. Good, shake them out. Perfect. So we're going to come into normal crow pose for a moment, and then I'm going to show you again side crow and how we can use the wall to help us. So you might want to move to the wall for the next part. So we're going to come into crow pose to begin with. We're just going to activate that kind of feeling of height. So we're going to bring the hands behind, the feet behind the hands, have the legs straight for a moment and bring the weight forward into the toes. So we want to just lengthen out the back of the legs, relax the shoulders, and we're going to lift the chest up, toes come out to each side, sink the hips. Big deep breaths as we travel side to side, just opening out the hips there. And we'll just do a few of these movements. So exhale, push the hips up, bring the chest down. Inhale, lift the chest through, hips come down. Exhale, coming up with the hips. Inhale, drawing the hips down, chest up. Exhale, straightening the legs. Inhale, maybe we can do it without any hands. Find your balance here as we move with the breath. Good. Next time we come down, next time we come up with the hips, we're going to place the hands down. Bring the toes in, find your alignment, lift up the heels. Remember to keep the hips lifting up. Elbows almost roll to the outside so we can see the inside creases of the elbows pointing forward. Knees right at the top of the arms. Shine the chest forward, look forward as well. We want height as we lift up, coming onto our big toes. And hovering the feet, coming into whatever level of crow you're at today. Maybe the feet are both floating off the mat. Maybe you can join the toes together. Focus on the breath. My knuckles of my fingers are completely lifted in this moment. My fingertips are white. And as we were practicing earlier with bringing the weight back to center, if I found myself coming too far forward or too far to one side, I can use that grip that I have on the mat with my fingers to push on and find little micro movements back to center. Good. So we're going to come into side crow. And the way that the wall might be able to help us, it might not work. You might not find it helps you. But we're going to have it as an option here. So we're going to be facing towards the wall, and we're going to have the knees both in line facing the wall. So we're going to come with our hands. We'll start with the right hand side. So we'll bring the hands to the right. And as we set up before, we want quite a lot of space between the hands, and we're going to spread the fingers. Now from this angle, you'll be able to really see how my right hip will be landing on the shelf that I create with my bend in my right arm. And my left arm is, the right knee is resting on the right arm. So we're going to begin to bend the arms, same feeling of bringing the elbows together. So it's exactly the same feeling as crow pose with the arms, just the legs are in a different position. So bending the arms, lifting the hips slightly, really kind of want to tuck this right elbow in to find that connection with the right hip. Look up, and this is where you can use the wall. We can bring the feet onto the wall and use the wall as a bit of support with the toes. Now you might find that it's a bit difficult to get the feet up, so just try with one foot. And it just gives you that bit of stability and balance with the feet. You might find you can just hover the other foot off the mat and it's not going to come to the wall today. That's absolutely fine. We want to keep the chest lifting, so don't look down towards the feet. Keep lifting the chest up. And when you've had enough with that, we'll just take a little rest. So we'll come into puppy pose again, hips over knees, melt the chest down. Take a few deep breaths here. In and out through the nose. Gently we'll lift the forehead, lifting up with the chest, walk the hands back, really good. So we're going to practice the other side. We want everything to be quite equal, so just give yourself a little twist, a little release, whatever you feel you need. And then we're going to enter from the other side, so I'll just come to this side of the mat. If you find the wall might be a useful tool, use it. If you don't think that it's going to work for you, then just listen to what works for you and you don't have to use it. But if you are, the knees want to be about 3 inches, I'd say, away from the wall. We'll bring the hands to the left, fingers are spread, remembering to really hook that left elbow in because we want to lift the hip slightly and then lean. And you're literally just plopping the hip there. That's the easy part. We keep the elbows hugging in, and then we need to let the feet slide away from the body as we bring our weight more into our hands. The chest lifts forward, maybe we can keep the knees together but bring one foot onto the wall. Maybe we can hover, bring our weight more into the hands and tap this left foot up. So we're just getting this kind of feeling of what side crow feels like. Keep breathing, keep the chest lifting, elbows hugging in. Maybe we can hover and we'll gently come back. Really, really good. Bring yourself back to the front of the mat. And we're just going to come into Malasana again, into our low yogi squat. Gently move side to side here. Big deep breaths through the nose. Good. So we're going to place the hands and we're going to lift the hips and we'll just step gently back to downward facing dog. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. So we're just going to do a little bit of conditioning before we finish. Just really working on strengthening and lengthening the side body, which is going to help keep the hips lifting in our side crow. So we're going to inhale, roll forward to plank. As we exhale, we're going to bring both heels to the left. Option to stay here, or option to peel this right hand up and look up at that right hand, keep the hips lifting. Big deep breath through the nose. Good. Exhale, bring that right hand down, find plank. Shifting the shoulders over the wrists. Big inhale, look forward. Exhale, we'll take a vinyasa. Drop the knees, chest and chin, elbows hug in. Inhale, roll up. Shoulders roll back and down. Exhale, back to our downward facing dog. Pedal out the heels. Big deep breath through the nose. Good. Next exhale, we'll let both heels drop to the right. And inhale, peel the left hand up. Really pushing out of that right shoulder. Lifting the hips. We can really feel that in the side core now. Keep breathing. Good. Gently come back to our plank. Shift the weight forward. We'll take our vinyasa. If you don't want to use the knees, test yourself. Come into a full vinyasa where we come into chaturanga, which is half plank. So we have the arms at a 45-degree angle. Keep the chest lifting forward. And then inhale into upward dog. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Focus on the breath. Big deep breath through the nose. Good. We're going to bring the knees down to the mat. We'll let both feet come to the left and gently walk the hands back, bringing the feet forward. Hands either side of the hips, we'll just shift our weight forward. We're going to come into boat pose. So we're going to lift up the toes, either holding behind the thighs and roll the shoulders back, keep the spine straight. Or we can have the hands either side, palms facing up. Wherever you are, focusing on the breath. We're going to pretend that we're holding a ball if your arms are lifted. If not, then you can just keep with the hands on the thighs. If you need to bring the toes down as well, please do. Holding this ball as we exhale, placing it to the right side. Inhale, squeezing up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, squeeze up. Find length of the spine. Exhale to the right. Inhale, squeeze up. Really good. Exhale to the left. Inhale, squeeze up. One more time each side. Exhale to the right. Keep breathing. Exhale to the left. Inhale, find height, straighten the legs for a moment, and then exhale, bend the legs. Good, wrap the arms around the shins, lean back on the legs. Just take a few really deep breaths here, rock side to side. We'll lift up the chin, place the hands by the hips, roll the shoulders, shine the chest forward, and just gently moving the knees side to side. Big deep breaths through the nose. Good. Finding stillness in the center, bringing the hands out to the side. We're going to use our core to very slowly roll down the back. Use the hands when you need to, but if you can, keeping really controlled and slow movement down, all the way down to the mat, placing the hands on the belly, relax the shoulders and relax the face. Feel the breath landing into the hands. Big deep breath through the nose. Walking the feet slightly closer to the body. We'll let both knees fall to the left and look over the right shoulder. Really reaching that right hand out, palm facing up. Feel the right shoulder blade drawing down, the hips drawing over to the left. Softening the face. Gently come back to center. Big inhale. And exhale, we'll go over to the right, look over the left shoulder, palm facing up. Find that twist. Big deep breath through the nose. Gently back up to center, really, really good. We'll draw the knees into the chest. We'll come into happy baby. So let the knees come out wide, soles of the feet facing up, holding onto the outside edges of the feet, drawing the ankles down and gently swaying side to side, keeping the shoulders really relaxed. Big deep breath through the nose. Good, we'll draw the feet together very gently. Use the elbows to push the knees away and find that real length in the inner thighs. And then we'll release the feet. Keep the soles of the feet together as they float down to the mat and land with the knees apart. We can gently wiggle the knees up and down. We're going to just lengthen the legs out long and inhale, reach the arms above the head. Give yourself a big stretch. We're going to hold onto the left wrist with the right hand and move the wrist and the shoulders slightly over to the right and walk the feet over to the right. Hook the left foot over the right foot and feel this lovely lengthening of the side body. Big deep breaths in and out through the nose. Good. We'll gently come back to center on an inhale, reaching the hands above the head. And exhale, holding onto the right wrist. Both shoulder blades are still on the mat. We're just bending to the left now. Walk the feet to the left. Wrap the right foot over the left foot. Both hip bones are facing up. Take a few deep breaths here. Good. We'll gently come back to center. And any last movements that you feel you need in this moment before carrying on into stillness. And just finding that stillness and arriving here. Softening the face and the shoulders. As you exhale, feel all the tension, all the effort that you've put in. Just let that melt away and be absorbed by the mat. Feeling the whole body relax and feeling the breath start to slow. And lying here for as long as you have today in stillness. And allowing this wave of gratitude for your body and for this practice. Thank you so much for joining me today.